Hi guys, welcome back. So today I want to share with you an article from the institution named Jefferies. It is an institution for investment banking, asset management, wealth management, and they recently published an article named China's Auto Evolution, Mapping the Next 10 Years. And the company's high management had recently reinforced this article again to be the best research ideas. So Jefferies had mapped out the potential technological evolution in China auto sector through the year of 2030. They think China is and will remain the most important market given top-down directions and bottom-up aspirations. So basically, they're saying that they think China will be ruling the EV market. And the reason is because of their top-down direction and bottom-up aspirations. So top-down directions means from the top of the government to the lower tier of the officials, the companies, and the people. And then the bottom-up aspirations, I think it means from the start-up companies at the bottom up to the giant auto companies in China. So the top official is giving out clear guidance, direction, with the policy supporting it, and the big and small companies down there are closely following this direction and basically are all working towards the same goal in the end, which is for China to be the leader of the EV sector in the world. And this research report also gave out a watch list of 18 companies that we can go over after. I think this research report is quite synchronized with the video I made before, and it was the third episode of my thinking and gathering about NIO, about what the Wall Street sees on NIO and we might not. In this video, I have analyzed the Chinese car dream that I think they have had for years and why they have put the pause on the expansion with the traditional ICE car, the big plan of it before. It's because they want to overtake by the new technology, by the new rising sector, which is the EV, because they really aim to be the leader of the EV sector with the new technology. And that would explain why all the policies and regulations have been quite fast and supporting a lot of the EV startup, for example, NIO, and explain why the government has been having green lights for Tesla to enter and help shape the supply chain of the EV manufacturing, just like what Apple did for the smartphone supply chain in China for the last decade. And this has all shown the ambition of China from the top of the Chinese government to the low of all the startups in China to all try to achieve the same thing. So I find this research report from Jefferies to be quite interesting, and I want to share some key points with you. First of all is the strong regulation and policy, because China knows that it is quite behind on the traditional ICE cars in terms of innovation and quality. So that's why they are quite determined to be the leader in the new sector, which is the EV. And that's why they will introduce all kinds of subsidies and policies to help support the startup, to incubate them, and to support also the traditional car companies to step foot in the EV sector. And that's why we can witness such fast growth from all of these startups like NIO, XPENG, and Li Auto, and explain why the delivery numbers can grow so fast for them. And at the same time, they think China would benefit the most from the global trend of carbon-free, because they estimate by the year of 2025, more than 70% of the battery production in the whole world would be from Chinese suppliers. So this shows more how the EV supply chain in China is maturing right now. Next is because of the cooperation between the tech giants and the traditional car companies. So the tech giants, for example, Baidu and Alibaba, are providing a lot of capital and technology support for the traditional car companies and the new EV startups. And this cooperation is a lot based on strategic partnership instead of a simple supplier contract. This is like the example we see of Baidu partnering up with Geely to make EV. And we also see NIO partnering up with the biggest battery manufacturer in China, CATL, who is also the leader of the world in terms of battery manufacturing. Another good sign they see is that the consumers are accepting electric car faster and faster, and would predict the sales of electric cars to be a big boost after the COVID is over. It is then we will see a much bigger demand because of the big increase of product categories, of choices, and consumers are more used to the prices with less subsidies. The next reason is the massive market opportunity in China because of the much lower market penetration of car ownership in China to begin with. So it means that currently in China, the amount of people that own a car is much less than other developed countries in Europe and America, percentage-wise. So they expect right now we will see a change here with the increased demand of cars and increased market penetration of cars in China to be 150 per thousand, so 0.15% by the year of 2025. So overall, they predict the amount of electric cars sell in 2022 to be 2.6 million vehicles, which is 100% gain from the total amount in 2020. So overall, because of the government and companies' determination, the deep cooperation of the tech and car companies, and the overall low and rising market penetration for cars, they believe that China would become and remain the leader of the EV sector in the world. With this trend, they also give out a list of companies to watch out for. Now here, I would not mention the companies that's not listed in the US. So number 2 on the list is BYD, which is not surprising because they are the number 1 top-selling electric car in China and invested by Warren Buffett. And the ticker symbol is BYDDY, and it's in OTC market. And then next is our baby NIO on the list with the rating of hold. And number 4 is XPENG, XPEV, also hold. And next is Baidu with the rating of to buy. I think the main reason is because of the L4 technology in the autonomous drive and the commercialized app, while the other ones all have L3, right? And then next, you see Geely to be number 7, also a buy. And next, number 8 is Li Auto, also to buy. And then we see some suppliers for different parts of the cars. And then number 15, it's interesting because it's the HD map solutions provider, 四维图新. The English name is NavInfo. And it's the competitor of another stock holding we have, LKCO, Locan Technology. And it gives out the rating to buy. So if you still remember, a few weeks ago with my LKCO video, I show you this picture of the market share in China for HD map solutions, while 四维图新 is number 2 after Baidu, and Imago is number 4 to be 14%. So Imago is 100% acquired by Locan Technology now, and it is about 2/3 of the market share of NavInfo. And we can see NavInfo's market cap is 33 billion RMB, which is equivalent to be about $4.5 billion. So then it just tells you how low valuation Locan Technology has on the side note. Because the total market cap for Locan Technology is 450 million, including Imago and Super Engine, okay? So that's on the side. But anyways, if we look at the list here, we see a mix of traditional cars company and the new EV players, the startup. And I think in this list, we see BYD and Geely, XPENG, and Li Auto. For example, I think they are all sharing similar markets, the low to mid-end, and among all of them, NIO would be standing in a rather comfortable position to remain in the mid to high or premium market in China, to be so far the only Chinese brands in this territory, and so far not a single Chinese brand able to do yet. Because as I explained before, the most difficult is for people to change their perception on Chinese cars to be cheap and low quality, and no one wants to buy expensive Chinese brands for cars. I think NIO is really changing this, and they would completely change the perception of Chinese car brands in the future. So overall, in the whole market, China will be the leader in the world for the EV sector. And with this trend, all of these Chinese brands would benefit from it significantly because of the government support, because of the maturing of the supply chain, because of the acceptance of consumers. But among all of the competition and all the Chinese car players, NIO is still sitting in a rather comfortable position, taking the win, the big trend of this EV of China. So that is why I have not lost my faith in NIO even after a big fall like this. In fact, I think this drop has given NIO a much higher return on investment. And technical-wise, NIO has broken out of this downward trend that rejected it multiple times in the past. So it has broken out this trend and back-tested it last week, and now in more consolidation period. And it's also forming a triangle with the consolidation. Overall, I think the EV sector needs some time to cool off after a huge run-up in 2020. It had been cooling off for a while now, and it could take a few more weeks. So then my plan is to add on my NIO slowly, gradually. Today I've added a little bit at 37.3, and I'll continue adding more if it dropped to 36.5 or even the next supports around 35.2. We'll see. Now that's it for today. I hope you find this information helpful, and if you have enjoyed this video, please give me a big like and write me a great comment, and I'll see you in my next video. That's it guys. Hope you can find my videos helpful. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and give me a big like. Thank you.